look at it.
A lot of them this time of year. But vacuum forming, that's the biggest one I've ever seen. Now, over at the Air Force Museum, they built displays for recruiting stations, and they build, or the Pentagon or something like that, where they need a model of an airplane, and they build theirs out of hardwood.
Hardwood?
Yeah, they use a
Wow.
hardwood to build their models out of, and they do it by doing templates, and the models are, I want to say, they're not museum scale, because that's 3/16 to an inch. But they're large models that they use for recruiters' offices, Pentagon, Air Force Museum.
Would it be for one aircraft?
Yeah, one aircraft at a time.
And how would they go about? How would they use a template? Would they use it to run a milling machine or something that would?
Well, first off, you cut the, you lay out the fuselage side, per se, down the length of the wood. And then you cut that out. And then you lay.
With what?
A bandsaw.
Okay.
And then you take that and put the template on the top, and you cut the template the same from the top down. So that gives you.
So you're talking about a flat template to get the outline.
Absolutely.
The upper and lower profile of the aircraft. I got it.
Right. And then you got your stations marked off down the side.
Right.
And you have templates, and you just whittle away till you get it so that template fits.
I see.
Now I do the same thing with styrofoam. It's a lot easier to manipulate the styrofoam than it is wood.
Yeah. But wood's a lot more fun if you got strong hands.
And you got proper chisels and stuff to go with.
Yeah. Knives, whatnot.
Yeah.
Have you seen, oh gosh, what's the name of that? It's a YouTube show on model airplanes. I'll think of it in a minute, but they build a lot of aircraft, model aircraft, and these are flyables.
Yes.
Out of it's like a foam core board.
Yeah, it's depending on what you're building. And the biggest thing I've seen fly so far has been a C-17 jet powered. The other biggest thing I've seen is a B-29. In fact, if you saw the movie, was it The Rising Sun or something like that, with Christian Bale was the young boy in the Japanese prisoner of war camp. And
No, I don't see that. I don't remember it. I remember the name, The Rising Sun.
Well, the P-51s that flew by, there was one P-51, real P-51. All the rest of them were radio controlled models, and the B-29 that flew in the thing was a radio controlled model.
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the, they have they fly a lot of RC down here. And they have some really big stuff. I mean, but a lot of them went from gas to electric.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
electric powered RC stuff. And then you got some pretty big ones down here too, because House of Hobbies, and I don't even know if he's still open or not, on US 19.
Yeah, you told me about him before.
He had a big Sky Raider in there, and I don't like to buy stuff from him because he always jacks up his prices.
Sure.
But he's all right. He's somebody I could talk to at the time, but I don't know where he's been because every time I've been by there lately, he's been closed. So he was talking about retiring some time ago. I guess maybe he did, because he goes like to Montana every year to hunt deer or goat or something up
Yeah.
there.
Let's stick with models for a little bit. I'm really curious about Dollhouses. You said they were 1 to 100 scale.
Yeah, it's 1 inch to 1 inch to a foot.
Okay.
It's supposed to be 1 inch to a foot,
So that's 1 to 10, isn't it?
something like that.
Yeah, 1 to 10. Okay.
Because
Do you,
the
are
doll,
there any other standards that you can share?
for doll houses, no.
Is there, are there websites for people who want to build a dollhouse to get some plans, or you just
Well,
sort of have to make it up?
the only thing I've seen is it been in kits. All right, but then
Kits.
I haven't been looking out on the internet for them. Hobby Lobby used to sell them. Michael's used to sell them, because I bought one from Michael's
What
years
were they
ago.
made out of?
Really thin plywood. I mean, like 1 layer, 2 layer, not very thick. And then you get all the
Where would you
little,
buy that kind of plywood? In the hobby store?
I know that Hobby Lobby has some thin woods. Um, if you were so inclined, you might be able to get some at what the hell's the name of that place? There's a place down on 19 between routes between US 60 and
Well, I'll never get over there, so
anyhow,
don't trouble yourself with trying to remember where it is, because without a name, I would never find it.
it's when I was doing woodworking, I used to go there to get router bits and
Right.
hinges and stuff like that for making furniture type deals.
Where's a good place to buy piano hinges? I guess off the internet, probably.
For you, probably, although you might find somebody locally. Depends on how fast you want them. The place I was trying to tell you about down on 19, they carry them, and different lengths. That's where I got my piano hinges for this cabinet over here that I built.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of cabinets, do you have those European hinges in your house where you can they actually snap together
You snap
and
together.
unsnap so you can
Yeah.
take the door off?
Yeah.
Yeah, those things, that was like pulling hen teeth to find those things to replace, there's so many different varieties. It was just a pain in the butt to replace the ones that I had broken.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Let's see if you can you see that over there?
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Tilt up a little bit more. Tilt up. There you go. Got it.
All right.
That's got it.
Yeah, I built that.
Yeah, you were telling me about that. That's really, I'm envious. That's really nice.
And if you can see those hinges right next to the paper towel rack.
Yeah,
going towards the wall.
yeah. Those are the European hinges.
Absolutely. I bought them
Yeah.
at the place down on 19.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, it used to be closer, but
Now that's US 19 on the west side of Tampa Bay, right?
I didn't know that US 19 was on the other side of Tampa Bay.
Well, you live on the other side of Tampa Bay, right?
Yes.
Okay, if you're in Pinellas.
Yeah, I'm in Pinellas.
Yeah,
Um,
my geography knowledge of that area is limited because I don't travel over there much. Have you ever flown out of that airport? Trying to
No.
think of. It's really kind of interesting location. I have very few people
Down
come
there
and
where
go
the
from there.
Coast Guard is.
I don't know.
Well, you know, when I first moved down here, Pat still had her was still allowed to have her ID from her previous marriage, and she used to go over there because they had a oh, what the hell they call that now? A store, the military military store.
Surplus store,
No, 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 no.
a uniform store,
Where we used to buy
like a PX.
PX, only it was just, you know, basically the Coast Guard showed up there, but anybody else. I mean, you know, hell, when I was when I was when I was in the service, my wife used to go over to my first wife used to go over to the fort right there in Washington, D.C., right down along P Street.
McNair. Was it McNair?
I thought Fort McNair. No, Fort
Oh,
McNair.
that's in Virginia.
No, that's up by Baltimore.
No, not McNair.
Henry Dayton McNair. Well, anyhow, it's where the U.S. Army War College is, and it's right down there on the crux of Anacostia and Potomac River. But she used to go in the PX there and buy all of her meats.
Was this southeast DC?
Yes.
A bowling field?
No, across the river from Bowling Field.
Oh, that's the Navy Yard.
No, Navy Yard is further up.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're not talking about Belvoir. No, that Belvoir's in Virginia.
Belvoir is in Virginia. Fort Belvoir is in Virginia down near.
But if you're on the other,
Green Bay.
okay, that's the other side of the Anacostia River. I don't know of any
Right.
Army forts in there. Anyway, going back to the ship of the line and earlier ship models.
Yeah.
How did you find out that the Spanish ships were built in Italy?
Was on the boob tube last night.
Was it really?
Yeah.
What did you watch?
It was Discovery or something like that.
Oh, really?
One, you know, it's one of the Discovery channels.
Uh-huh.
What
Was it about explorers or was it about ships? So I can look for it.
It was about the war between England and Spain,
Ah,
as England became the new superpower.
right.
with their Navy. And you know, the thing about the Mary Rose was she heeled over and got a gust of wind and it just capsized her.
Yeah, she was too heavy, too
Yeah, well,
imbalanced.
90 guns.
Yeah.
She had
Yeah,
90
but she
guns.
was loaded down with a lot of other stuff from King Henry.
Yeah, well, the thing of it was, she didn't have that many bronze cannons. Most of her cannons were
Cast iron, huh?
cast iron or raw iron, raw iron,
Wrought,
wrought
wrought
iron.
iron. Yeah.
Yes, wrought iron.
Well, I think that's the same thing as cast.
Well, they claimed it was two different things, depending on the size of the gun. And the thing of it was, is that it took a long time to cast a bronze cannon, whereas with using cast iron, they could do it quick, and do multiples in the time that it would take to cast
Yeah.
one bronze cannon. And they were heavy enough to take the charges that they were using.
I wonder what the range of a 24-pounder was. Maybe 100 yards.
Well, it
They
all
had to get
depends
in.
on all
Huh?
depends on how much powder you got behind it.
Yeah, but if you got a cast iron tube and you're firing a 24-pound ball, you know, there's a limit as to how much powder you can put behind it,
Yeah.
space wise and pressure wise.
Well, you know, it's kind of like, you ever shot black powder?
No,
It's kind of like shooting black powder. The thing of it is that shooting black powder today, smokeless black powder, they call it smokeless, it's not. Um, you actually are supposed to use less because it's a quicker igniting powder than you would have used if you had been using regular black powder.
well, I thought regular black powder was really slow
It is,
compared
it's
to
slow to
modern.
burn. It's slow to
Yeah.
burn. Now, the thing of it is that the reproduction weapons that are built today are made out of armory steel or whatever you want to call it nowadays. But it's regular stuff that you'd make a modern firearm out of. So you have a lot less.
What was this? You said replicas,
Yeah,
right?
because I used to, a friend of mine had not a Colt. What was the other one? Remington?
Yeah.
Uh, a Remington, I think it was.
Was a revolver or was it a
Revolver.
rifle?
Revolver.
Yeah.
And it, you know, you put your black powder in, you put your ball in, you put your bear grease over top of the ball. And then the last thing you do is put the caps on the nipple before you fire it. And that damn thing weighs a ton. I could not hold it and aim it without using both hands.
Now this was what type of weapon?
It's a cap and ball revolver.
Was it a single shot?
No, it's a revolver.
Oh, so it's got 6 shots.
6 shots, but you have to cock it each time you want to fire it.
Yeah, but you were talking about loading a cartridge.
Yeah, the cylinder.
Well, wait a minute.
The cylinder, the revolver cylinder.
So you had to load each one of those cylinders?
Separately.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's interesting.
That's why a lot of guys carried extra cylinders so that they could
Yeah.
snap the one out, snap another one in, and keep going.
I had never heard of it. That's really fascinating.
If you see, what was that? Pale Rider?
Yeah.
if you watch Clint Eastwood in Pale Rider, he takes and snaps a cylinder out of the pistol he's using and snaps another one in.
Yeah, yeah.
And that, and that's basically cap and ball, although it's like a speed loader nowadays. You take a cylinder, you take the cylinder out, you slap extra, take a speed loader and load the back of it, and you put it in a container around your belt so that you can pull it out. Or
That's
you
like
take-
having two clips taped together.
I've done that too. I did that in Vietnam with the 30 caliber.
Why were you carrying the 30 caliber?
because of because a M1 carbine with a grip, a side grip, one that slides down to the side, is a lot easier to carry when you're flying on a helicopter than carrying an M14.
Is it, you said it was an M1?
M1 carbine, however you
Yeah,
want to pronounce
so
it.
it had a clip that loaded from the side,
No, from the bottom.
from the bottom. And what
Yeah.
was off to the side? It had a grip?
The back of the stock was a swing out.
Hmm.
You grabbed
was
it, you turned it
hinged.
around, and it gave you the stock that you could mount up, put in your shoulder and fire.
But it wasn't wood, it was steel, right?
Yeah.
It was,
Steel with a metal butt
yeah,
plate on.
with a butt plate, yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool, that's cool. Yeah, my uncle, Jim, who lived across the street from us, was a major, actually, he was in World War II, he's a ranger. And he said that M1 was a super accurate
Mhm.
weapon.
The M1 was rifle, which is 30-06, basically.
Well, what is a carbine compared to a rifle?
Carbine is shorter.
That's what I
Shorter,
thought.
and it carries basically a pistol caliber. All right, to me, it's a pistol caliber round. It's smaller than 30 caliber.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
But
But you said you were an armorer at one
Yeah.
point, right?
yeah, was
In Vietnam?
yeah, crew serve weapons. But the thing of it is, no sense being an armorer because you take the part off and you send it to the depot to get it fixed. So
What, did you have a school for becoming an armorer, or did you
no,
learn
I
that
just assigned
OJT?
it. Just
Yeah,
assigned it.
OJT, yeah,
The
Yeah.
OJT, odd job training.
yeah. Now, on the job training.
You can call it on the job if you want to. I call it odd job.
Most of my life, I've done that on the job training, had to teach myself a lot of my professions. So I wonder where the going back to, I've got this ship of the line
Yeah.
on my brain, where the Spanish built their ships and where the French built their ships. I can see where the Germans didn't have many ships because they didn't have much coastline.
No, that's true.
And I believe the Venetians were real big on shipbuilding because they were such a trading powerhouse.
And I think that's probably where a lot of the Spanish ships were built.
On the other side of the country. Wow. Yeah.
Portuguese, I can't say too much about because I don't know. But
Yeah.
they seem to have gotten out there all right. And the thing of it is that I was told that the ships that Columbus had were built in Portugal. So and that's why nobody knows why they were called what they were.
Yeah.
And
I thought you were saying they were built in Italy.
I heard that they were built in Italy, but you know, if they were built in Italy and then got to Portugal, I I don't know. I don't know too much more about Columbus's trip.
Hmm. Have you read those books by Patrick O'Brien? Um, you've seen that movie probably, Master and Commander,
Oh,
with
about
Russell Crowe.
about sailing around the world or something like.
No, no,
Oh,
he was a British sailing captain. They called him Lucky Jack Aubrey, and he was the way this came about uh, is that O'Brien got interested in writing and ships, and he took a British admiral and read his what you call it, logs, and the actions and things, and where they were and that sort of thing. And he wrote 17 novels with particular characters, and he portrayed the English Navy and its battle with the Napoleonic French Navy. And it was so popular that a couple of guys started taking all the terminology, the sailing terminology, and they wrote a gazetteer or lexicon, whatever you want to call it, dictionary called A Sea of Words. And that was helpful, you know, if you didn't know what, I don't know, what a gunwale was, or
yeah.
bowsprit, or fore topsail, or top gallant, or something like that. And then there was another couple of guys that wrote a geography based on all those actions, and that was it was, I guess you would call it a historical novel, and so you got a lot of truth, but you got the flavor of being in the Navy, fighting, and
Well,
naval actions and stuff like that. It was really quite good.
you know, the thing about Fletcher Christian, all right,
Bounty.
the Bounty, yeah, that kind of changed the attitudes of the Royal Navy. Um,
In
but
what way?
well, Bligh was such a enforcer,
In Taskmaster, yeah.
taskmaster,
Unforgiving.
yes, and that changed a lot um, after that. I mean, first off, they never found, they never got to Fletcher Christian. Um,
Who's they?
the Royal Navy, when they were
What do you,
looking for him, when they were looking for him after
okay. I'm sorry. I was thinking Captain Bligh, but Fletcher
after
Christian,
the after the
right. The
incident,
mutiny.
the mutiny. Of course, Pitcairn Island was not on any map. So if I think they eventually stumbled onto it, but by that time Fletcher Christian was long gone. They burned the Bounty so that nobody could leave.
What year was that? Do you remember?
No,
It's probably 1870s.
I think it's probably 1870s. No, couldn't be. Because in
Well, I don't.
1870s, we were already through a civil war.
So
So I think it was before that, Dick.
hang on. Hey Siri, when was the mutiny on the Bounty take place?
It happened April 28, 1789.
1789, April 28, 1789.
Hmm.
Wow. And that's before the war with the United States or the colonies and before
Mhm.
Napoleon, 1776. No, that was,
1879. Did he say
no, 17. This was 1789.
1789.
Yeah,
So that's
that was
after the war with the colonies
right.
and before the War of 1812, where they tried to invade us again.
Yeah. Well, the British Navy was really a harsh taskmaster.
Right.
They,
And that's why a lot of the pirates were former British Navy.
yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know that they elected their own captain. You may
Yeah.
be captain today and one of the crew tomorrow.
Yeah. It was pretty democratic, I hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
They had rules too.
yeah. Well, whatever.
What do you mean, whatever? They had
Well,
rules.
yeah.
You don't mess with women and
Unless on
stuff like
shore.
this. Yeah. Yeah, we took were you on that class cruise to the Bahamas?
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
where were you? Flaked out somewhere?
No, I was there. There was
Yeah, I
just
know you were.
there were so many people. I mean, we were sort of looking at that as a pirate haven or
Yeah, but
close
the dry
close to it.
tortugas.
The dry Tortugas.
Yeah, which is
That's
down
Florida.
that's in the
That's
Gulf of Mexico.
on the other side. Yeah.
Yeah, down in the Gulf of Mexico. Um,
Was that a pirate haven at one time?
yeah. What's the other one? Morgan was on. Oh, what the hell was he? He was governor there. Sir Henry Morgan. Uh,
The rum's named after.
yeah,
It
who
must
never.
have, yeah, but just one of those Caribbean islands. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. I wouldn't remember.
Um, anyhow, half that was another thing was on the other night was the island that he was on where half of it went into the sea due to a earthquake.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it seems that the island sits right between the Caribbean shelf and the North American shelf.
Hmm.
And they've been rubbing against each other for some time. And the first thing they heard was the rumbling up in the mountains. They heard a rumble coming from the mountains. And the next thing, the streets started opening up, and the sand and the water basically mixed together and
Dissolved the land.
dissolved the land. And what hadn't slid off the shelf, good portion of it slid off the shelf along with one of the forts that was there. There were three forts
Wow.
on the peninsula.
Where was this?
Uh,
Was one of the Caribbean islands?
uh, yeah, I think so. Uh,
Was it the same island that Captain Morgan was governor?
yes, yes.
Okay. We have to go. We have to keep going back here. Hey Siri, where was the island of which Captain Morgan was the governor?
I found this on the web.
I have to read it. Okay.
Jamaica?
Oh,
Was it Jamaica?
I don't know. Let's see. Ha! Sir Henry Morgan was Welsh. 1635, 25 to 1688. Plantation owner. You're right, Jamaica. Lieutenant Governor of Jamaica. From his base at Port Royal, Jamaica, he raided settlements and shipping on the Spanish Main, wherever that is, becoming wealthy as he did so. With the prize money from the raids, he purchased 3 large sugar plantations on the island. Cool. That's neat.
Jamaica, yeah.
So,
Jamaica and
so I
Trinidad
guess
and Tobago.
Trinidad, Tobago, huh?
Yeah.
What
Jamaica,
do you
Trinidad,
mean? And what
Trinidad.
do you, he
Those
was
are
governor
3
there too?
islands in the same area.
Jamaica and Trinidad's off the coast of South America.
Yeah, that's where they were.
Well, Jamaica's quite a ways north of that.
All I know is that there were the island that they were on, there's another island close to it. And when I
They
say,
who? Morgan or the pirates? Who are you talking about? I can't follow you. Your
Oh,
brain's way ahead of me.
Jamaica, and there's another island north of it. I say north of it, and I say I don't know what the distance is because when you
The Dominican Republic. I thought that was Dominican Republic, Haiti and Dominican Republic were west of Jamaica.
Well, they're
And Cuba's
same island.
west of that.
That same island. Now, how you get 2 different countries out of the same island? You know.
It's cut in half.
Yeah.
I mean, it just got a boundary.
The island of Hispaniola, if you remember Treasure Island.
Well, you're teaching me something new there. I didn't know that. I haven't read Treasure Island lately. As a matter of fact, I don't think I've ever read it. Let's see. Can't remember where I put my map. Anyway, I've got some. Oh, before I go, and I have
Yes.
to go here shortly.
Yes.
I'm reading a great book that it's more in the modern era. It's a submarine captain book. It's called Kilo Class, and the basic. I have learned a tremendous amount from this book.
Let's see, Kilo Class. That's a Russian submarine.
It's a World War II vintage diesel type. It's not a nuclear type. Anyway, point being, Russia was selling China 10 submarines, and the United States didn't want China to block up the China Sea or get control over it totally, because of Taiwan and and South Korea, etc. So anyway, the U.S. was black ops knocking off the submarines as they sailed from Russia to China. So the first time they caught them off of Greenland, between Greenland and Iceland and the UK. The second time, the submarines were being built interior Soviet Union or Russia. I can't remember. I think it was Soviet Union. Anyway, they put them on barges and they were carrying them to the sea. They sent in SEALs, and it was very, very clever how they got the SEALs in and out. But they put charges on the barges, just dumped the submarines over. And at the very end of the book, they were taking a flotilla escorting the last submarines. They had a tremendous, what do they call it, icebreaker, heavy duty icebreaker. And they were going to take a great circle path from the North Sea to the Pacific Ocean. And I've never heard of that being just an ice pack. I thought there was land in there. I know you can go under the ice pack, but
Well,
it's really, really a cool book. And I want to go look at a Great Circle route.
is this book fiction or is it?
Yeah, it's a novel,
Oh, okay, it's a novel.
but it's sort of like one of those hardcore, lot of technical truth.
Like Hunt for Red October
Yeah, that same author.
and
What Clancy?
Red Dawn,
Red October.
Red Dawn Rising.
Yeah.
What was the other one? I read a
Oh,
couple of
those.
his.
Yeah, he got old. That was Tom Clancy.
Right.
So
Yeah.
anyway, I just recommend that book. I got it from our public library in an
Oh.
audio book form. It's really good.
Did you see Reds, the movie Reds?
Reds.
Reds.
Reds. Yeah. The Russian invasion of United States.
No. The one with Bruce Willis and shoot, I can't think of the other guy's name. But anyhow, they are being tracked by the CIA as
They who? These two
Him and his-
guys.
him and his buddy from back in
Yeah.
the day, because they know about a guy running for president that wiped out a village in South America somewhere. And basically the thing of it is they're being chased by the CIA. But what I was going to get to is that some of the footage would, do you know that Clancy's home is called the Eagle's Nest? And it sits up on a bluff in Maryland. And
Yeah.
they shot part of it there.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
so it shows his house. Now, I can't say for the interior shots, but the exterior shots is Clancy's Eagle's Nest.
Yeah, I remember hearing that the hero of, I can't remember his name, of some of those books lived there with his surgeon wife and kids, and trying to remember his name. Anyway, I'm gonna have to run. It was a
Okay.
good session. We'll
Good
talk to you
talking to you.
later.
Yep.
I'll be here next week, most likely.
Yeah, well, maybe I will be too.
Okie dokie.
If the snow
Bye-bye.
don't fall.
Huh?
I say I'll be here too if the snow don't fall.
Oh, yeah. See you later.
All right, Dick, take it easy.
Lieutenant.